All right, hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of RamChat. My name is Kelsey Stam. I'm an admissions counselor here at CSU, and I'm really excited to be discussing next steps for admitted students. Tonight we have a really great panel of representatives from residence life and orientation and transition programs and the CSU Health Network and Student Financial Services. So just as a reminder before we get going, you can submit your questions online at www.admissions.colostate.edu/ramchat or on social media at admissionscsu or at Colorado State University using the hashtag RamChat. If you are a member of our schools app, you can also ask questions with the hashtag RamChat as well. So now I am going to go ahead and have our panel introduce themselves. They're going to share just a little bit about themselves and how they interact with first-year students and how they can help answer your questions tonight. John, do you want to get us started?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. Good evening, everyone. My name is John Molson. I'm an assistant director with the Residence Life Office of Housing and Dining Services. I work with all of our assignments and operations areas for the residence halls. I'll be happy tonight to answer any questions folks may have about the application, assignment process, living in the halls, leadership opportunities, dining, whatever you've got that's housing and dining, I'm happy to help.
I'll start next. My name is Cindy Maris. I'm a counselor with CSU Student Financial Services. In Student Financial Services, we talk with students about their financial aid award package, how to apply for financial aid. We talk about billing, scholarships, and residency issues. So I'm happy to address any of those things with you tonight.
Amber and Andrea, do you want to get us do your introduction? All right, due to some technical difficulties, I will let you know who's on that panel over there. Amber is joining us from Orientation and Transition Programs, and she would love to talk to you about anything to do with that orientation and your first year transition into CSU. And then we also have Andrea from the Health Network Services. So any questions you have regarding health here at CSU, ranging from your mental health to your personal health, Andrea would love to take some of those questions. So the first one we have tonight, to get us going, I have a question from Erin. And Erin asks us, how does roommate matching work? So John, I believe this is a good question to get us going.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a question that we get often. We have a couple of different ways, a couple of different options students have. First, they can list each other on their application. There is space there for students to indicate a specific individual that they would like to be paired with as a roommate. We do ask that students that are wanting to request each other as roommates via the application make sure that they're applying for housing at about the same time. Applications are considered in the order they are received. So one student applying on the 1st of the month and another student applying on the 4th of the month or the 5th of the month could be separated in some cases by several hundred applications in between them. So applying at about the same time, make sure your preferences match, as well as make sure that the request is mutual. The other option students have is our RoomSync app. This is a program that links a student's Facebook profile with our assignments process. We begin that, invitations for that will begin in April, and as students are assigned to their residence hall or their learning community, they'll receive an invitation within a couple of business days to join RoomSync, to create a profile and begin reviewing and getting to know students who are potential roommates or just potential neighbors. So that'll begin here in April. Give students the opportunity to select a roommate themselves from other students who are going to be a part of their community. And then third and finally, on the application, we do also ask students indicate what we refer to as lifestyle information. So how do you feel about guests? How do you feel about cleanliness of the room? How do you feel, do you study with some music on or the TV? Some general information that might be an indicator of roommate compatibility. The best indicator for roommate compatibility is an open mind. So please do try to keep that as part of what you're considering with what you're going to do, getting to know your roommate and getting to know your neighbors. But with that information on the application for students who don't specifically request someone, choose not to match with someone on RoomSync, we will be able to match you with a roommate based on the information on your application.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Our next question, I believe this one will go for Cindy. It's from Laura, and she says, if I've received corrections on the FAFSA, how do I submit these changes if I've already sent the FAFSA in?
That's a really good question. So anytime you have updates to the FASFA, you can go back to the FASFA and make corrections. It takes us 3 business days to receive that updated information at CSU. If you've already received your financial aid award, you might want to give us a call 3 to 5 business days after that correction has processed to see if the change would have caused us to change or modify the financial aid award that was initially received. So you can contact us at our main number, which should be at your Student Financial Services Awards page on RamWeb.
All right, thanks, Cindy. Our next question comes from Griffin, and he asks, are there multiple housing options available, like learning communities? And when do I have to accept or decline? I can definitely answer that last part. You need to accept or decline by May 1st. That is the National College Decision Deadline, so that is when all the colleges around the United States are expecting to hear from you. John, do you want to touch a little bit about that first part about the housing options and learning communities?
Absolutely. We have a whole lot of options available. Certainly encouraging students to take a look at our website. The application itself walks you through some of the details of the different options. We have approximately 20 learning communities that are available to students for a number of different program opportunities. Some are based on majors and academic programs, so students who'd like to really be immersed in living with peers who are taking a lot of the same classes. Our engineering learning community is an example. Health and exercise science, College of Natural Sciences are some of those options that are out there. We also have some programs that are tied to some coursework that students take together but can be part of any major. Our key programs, for example, the key communities, is a great opportunity for students to live together under a theme or shared living experience while also taking a course together, really connecting the living experience to the classroom experience. And then there's also communities out there for students of a variety of majors and interests that aren't tied to a classroom, a seminar, or a classroom experience, such as our Living Substance Free. So if students who are making the choice to limit the impact of drugs, alcohol, tobacco products, and things like that in their lives, Living Substance Free has been so popular in the last few years, we've had to expand it to a second community to be able to offer more students the opportunity to live there. But beyond that, not just with our learning communities, we have a lot of communities where students live without the learning community component that are just as highly we put a lot of effort into trying to make the living experience good for all of our students. So I know some students are really drawn to the learning communities and they really like the program and the curriculum that's created with them, and they're really attracted to that. If you're out there and you're seeing those things and they're not appealing to you, that's okay. There's lots of places where students live where our staff are going to do a lot of work to try to create a great living experience and a great environment for you in that community, where you'll maybe be a part of helping to design what's that community going to be like. So the things that you're interested in, the things that you want to get from your experience, you're going to have the opportunity to apply that and put that into the community as well.
Thanks, John. All right, it looks like we have survived some technological issues, and we now have Andrea and Amber back, so I'm going to actually let them introduce themselves again. They can probably do a little bit better job of that than I did of themselves. So Amber and Andrea, will you go ahead and introduce yourselves? It's not, I can't hear the sound. Oh my goodness, and of course more technological issues. We will sort that out so we can make sure to hear from Amber and Andrea. Can't hear them yet, but we will definitely get onto that. In the meantime, I have a great question that Cindy and I can both address here. This is from Nita, and they're asking, how are scholarships provided? The first part is we offer automatic merit-based scholarships through our office, the Office of Admissions. These are solely just based on your test scores and GPAs. We have grids based on your test score and your GPA, and wherever you fall into that grid is how much you're automatically awarded every year for 4 years. So those are on the admission side of things. Cindy, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the student financial services scholarships or other things students can expect?
I'd be glad to. Every year we have the opportunity for students to complete the CSUSA, which is this CSU student application, scholarship application. That's open each year from December 1st. It closes March 1st. Do not despair if you didn't get your application in by March 1st this year. There's another opportunity to do that again next year. A resource that we have that's really popular is on our website, which is SFS for Student Financial Services.colostate.edu. There is a link to the scholarship website there. If you go out there right now, you can still find scholarships that are outside of CSU that still have deadlines that haven't passed. In addition, we have outside scholarship websites that you can still look at so that you can look for potential to bring in additional aid to your financial aid award. So the more applications that you submit, the more likely it is for you to get a scholarship. So it's a numbers game. I definitely encourage you to apply as much as you can there.
All right, this next question is from Jane. This may be sort of a housing financial aid tied together question, so good thing we have John and Cindy together. So Jane asks, is living in an on-campus apartment billed differently? Or do these charges appear on your e-bill? Can you apply aid to this? Take it away, John and Cindy.
Sure. Housing and dining services includes both residence hall assignments, where those of you that may be incoming first-year students will be residing, as well as we have an apartment life office that accommodates students who may be coming in as transfers, graduate students, students married and family housing, but all of our charges for residence hall room, apartment rent, meal plans, etc., are all billed through the student account. And any applicable financial aid that may be also getting applied to a student's account would be included in determining the final charges a student would have for that particular term, I hope. Right?
In financial aid, we know that students need to have not only books and supplies and their tuition and fees, they need to have a roof over their head and food to eat. So whether that is within CSU or whether it's outside, we always include a housing component in the student's estimated cost of attendance. So if that's billed through CSU, the financial aid awards that are accepted will apply to those costs that are billed by CSU. So hopefully that answers that question.
Looks good to me.
Yeah, I think that works great. All right, I have a question from Derek, and he's asking, how do I apply for the honors program as a transfer student? Derek, good news for you. We have 2 types of tracks for the honors program. One is track 1. You apply for that as an incoming first-year student. That application was actually passed in February 15th. So if anybody else is interested in honors or you're a transfer student, you can apply for honors as a track 2 student. There's a lot more information on the honors.colostate.edu website about that process, but you will be doing that once you get here at CSU. You'll be working with the Honors College to go through that application process. Honors does include a $1,000 scholarship, so if you are a student interested in honors, that's definitely something to let us talk to your admissions counselor or contact the honors department about to learn more about what that opportunity entails. My next question, Cindy, again, you're a popular lady tonight. This question is from Kylie, and she's wondering, when do we hear back for CSUSA?
So CSUSA is for both need-based scholarships for those students who did get their FAFSAs in by the March 1st deadline. We're going to evaluate those students for both need-based scholarships as well as merit-based scholarships that are awarded by the different departments within CSU. So I can speak to the need-based scholarship recipients to let you know that we'll be making decisions in the middle of April. We do send out letters of denial. If you did not get a scholarship, we let you know that. Not every department operates that way, but we know that that May 1st deadline is really important to folks. And so we do want to have or see most of the scholarships notifications go out by May 1st. Or mid-April, I should say, so you can decide by May 1st.
Perfect. Thank you, Cindy. John, this one is coming to you. This is from Dominique. It just came in. They're wondering, I've been assigned a dorm, or as we like to call residence halls. Now what? Do I need to reserve a room? What do I do next?
So yeah, for a number of students, our application process has been underway for a couple of months, and just a few weeks ago we started the process of assigning students to their residence hall or learning community. We do hold back on confirming roommates and setting the actual room number until July after orientation. All the orientation sessions have completed. So at this point, if a student has a completed application, has received your initial assignment, you don't have to do anything. But for students who might be interested, we do have a wait list going for students who may be interested in a different community than the one to which they were assigned. So you're welcome to contact our office for more information about that, to place yourself on the wait list. I mentioned Room Sync a little bit ago, so that'll be coming along, and that's another step students can take to participate in the assignments process. But if those aren't things that you're looking for or looking to do, then you can sit back and let the process run its course, and we will at some point, as I said, in late July, get a hold of you to notify you of who your roommate is and what room number you'll be in whichever community you've already been assigned.
Okay, thanks, John. All right, this question is from Abby, and this is playing to the nutrition major in me and the food lover. Abby wants to know, how do meal plans work at CSU?
So there's 3 primary meal plans that students get to choose from. The 10, 14, or 21 meals per week plans. Those meals reset every weekend. So when I say per week, that's those whatever meals that aren't used during that particular week will reset to the next week. Students can go into any of our dining facilities and use those meal swipes for a full sit-down meal of all you care to eat. You can use it at the greeter station to request a to-go container, so you can get a meal swipe. You get a compostable container that you get to go in and fill with whatever's on the menu that day in the dining center, as long as the lid closes. That's what I'm told. As long as the lid closes, you can take whatever foodstuffs you want with you. You can use it at one of our express locations, of which we have 2, one on each side of campus, where there's a la carte options, again, for meal swipes that students can get a sandwich and a side salad and a beverage or something along those lines to take with you if you're needing something more on the go. There's also the RamWich food ordering program, where you get to go online, select what you want, when you want to pick it up, and they will have it ready for you, usually during the lunch hour, for students to go over to Braden Hall out of their dining center. They'll have your lunch bagged up and ready to go, swipe, and you are on your way. There is also another option that I think some folks get a little surprised by, but you can opt for the any meal, anytime option. So you take your 21 meals per week and you can add even more on top of that for students who know that they're really wanting to get the most out of those meal swipes. And it may not be to just sit down and eat all day long. It's I want a to-go option. I want an a la carte option. At lunch, I'll sit down with my friends and have a meal, but in the afternoon, I want to get a quick swipe and grab something for an afternoon snack. So there's a number of options and ways that we really encourage students to take advantage of. Use those meal swipes. Do all you can in any given week to use those up. Get to go. Get a la carte. Take stuff back to your room. Take stuff on the road with you. If you're traveling and going to visit friends somewhere one weekend, swipe and take some of that food with you. So lots of flexibility, lots of options. And that doesn't even get into all the different menu options of what the actual food is that's going to be available to you.
I think I could talk about food all night long, but we will move on to the next question. Thank you, John. This is from Rachel, and Rachel is wondering, if I can't attend Choose CSU but plan on coming during my spring break, can I take advantage of Choose offerings? For those of you that are not familiar with what Choose CSU, it is one of our largest admitted student visits that we have on campus. It is a full day long, and it takes place this Saturday. And Choose, one of the benefits of Choose is you get to meet with different departments. You can really kind of plan your own day to what makes sense for you and what information you want to learn about. So Rachel, if you're wondering if you can take advantage of some of those options, yes, you can definitely work on that. If you want to contact your admissions counselor, reach out to us and we can help get you connected to the different departments. We can help you set up a tour, and we can make sure that you're getting all of those questions answered, so you're making sure you're making the best decision for you. So you can definitely still take advantage a lot of those options. They won't be in the same sort of all set up for you sort of fashion, but we would love to help you here in the office organize some of that. All right, we have good news. We have Andrea and Amber back. We are doing a little bit of moving around. We are problem solvers here in the Office of Admissions. So I'm gonna go ahead and have them finally do their introductions, then we can get going on some of their questions. So Amber and Andrea, if you can take the computer and do your introductions.
Hi everybody, my name is Andrea Coriel and I work with the CSU Health Network. So my role there is an alcohol and other drug health educator, and tonight I'm representing the whole CSU Health Network. So that includes our medical clinic, our counseling services office, and our health education and prevention services office. So go ahead and throw any questions my way that might have something to do with your health on campus.
Hi everyone, it's good to be on here. Nice to meet you all. I'm Amber Hofer. I serve as the coordinator for orientation programs in the Office of Orientation and Transition Programs. My role is everything orientation. RAM orientation this summer. I look forward to seeing you all there. So if you have any questions about orientation, send them my way. I also do our extended orientation programs like Mountain Experience, Camp 1870, and then I can also speak to a lot of our transition programs in the fall. So it's good to be here.
All right, Andrea, I have a question for you. Oh, sorry, Amber. I'm so sorry. I make you turn the computer all around. Amber, this question is for you. Emily, I believe is how she says her name, wants to know, how is school spirit and sense of community at CSU?
Yeah, so through all of our programs, we kind of focus on school spirit and like the campus life. We do a lot of community building. I would say that our school spirit and pride on campus is fantastic. All of our students in our office, they know the fight song, they go to a variety of events, and then we're also starting a new program called Camp 1870 that really takes the idea of school spirit, tradition, history at CSU, and makes it really thrive on campus. So Camp 1870, it's going to be a 3-day event at the end of July. It is an additional orientation program, so it's optional, but it's a ton of fun. It's all led by students, for students. We're going to intertwine a lot of traditions from campus and then make them into fun activities so that you meet a lot of cool people before you even start your first day on classes. So we have great school spirit.
I can definitely agree with that as well as a CSU alum. School spirit runs very deep here. All right, my next question, Cindy, this will be for you. The question is from Jay, and he wants to know, when will I receive my first bill?
All right, at CSU, we're nothing if not consistent in regard to billing. So we're a green university, so our billing goes by email. We suggest that not only do you have an access for yourself for RamWeb and be checking your RAM's email account, but please do set up your family, trusted individuals with FamWeb, which is the family portal to the student account, so that a trusted family member will also get e-billing notification. Our bills for the fall are always due September 10th. The bill for spring is always due February 10th, and for the summer, it's always due June 10th. We will always have a pre-bill that you can see before the start of the semester, usually that month before. So for fall, at the beginning of August, you'll be able to see a pre-bill. by looking at billing information on RamWeb. Look at your up-to-date account activity. In spring, you'll look in January, and then in the summer, you'll look at the beginning of May to see what that bill is going to be that's due that following month. I hope I didn't make that too confusing for you guys.
No, I think you did great. My next question is for Amber again. As a transfer student, do I still need to take placement exams? And then the second part of this question is transfer orientation separate from freshmen? And this is coming from Adam.
Hi, Adam. Thanks for the question. So I'll start with transfer orientation. We do have a separate orientation program that is designed specifically for students transferring from other institutions. So the programs are 1 day. We do have a 2-day session that we do at the beginning of May if you want to stay on campus. But all of our programming for transfer orientation sessions is unique to transfer students and learning about your transfer experience and then connecting you to a community at CSU. As far as placement exams, I don't know off the top of my head. I think it just kind of depends. I would check with your advisor before you come, and then, or you can give our office a call and we can look into your specific college.
Fantastic. Thanks, Amber. My next question is from May, and she wants to know, when do we submit final high school transcripts? Well, May, as soon as you graduate high school, if you want to have your counselors send those over directly to us. That way you can take that off of your list of worries. These do just need to be submitted before your fall semester starts. Without having final high school transcripts, you are not able to register for classes for your spring semester. So the best answer to this is as soon as you get done graduating high school and that becomes official, go ahead and have those sent over as soon as possible. My next question, this one's going to go all the way over to Andrea. If I regularly have a prescription filled, can I have that done on campus?
There we go. All right, that's a great question. And yes, you can definitely do that. So you can do it a couple of different ways. So the first is you can establish care with one of our providers at the Health Network, and you can have prescriptions written through them and filled by our on-campus pharmacy, or you can have the pharmacy on campus call your pharmacy wherever you're at and just have them transfer that prescription over. And I think that might be the easiest. But bottom line, yes, you can have it filled on campus at the health center.
Fantastic. All right, John, this one's coming to you. This is coming from James. And James is asking, can students live on campus after freshman year?
That is a wonderful question. I am grateful that you asked. And the answer is yes, absolutely. Primarily in the early spring, but also in late fall, we have a process we refer to as Live On. It's a program that puts information out there, makes information available to students who would be interested in returning to the residence halls for more than 1 year. I mentioned our apartment life a little while ago, so they're also involved for continuing undergraduate students who might look to want to change the environment which they're living, but really like the opportunity to still live on campus and be connected with the resources of the university that way. So we see a considerable number of students that would like to and choose to live on campus for more than their first year.
Awesome. This question will go towards Amber. It's about orientation. It's from Tiffany. And Tiffany is asking, if parents attend orientation, are they with us the whole time?
All right, thanks for the question, Tiffany. So they are not with you the entire time. All of our parents, families, and guests that attend the program, they have a parallel track that runs at orientation where you meet at different times throughout the program. So you'll eat meals together, you'll go to the welcome together, and you have a variety of presentations, depending if you're a transfer or first-year student, that you'll go to together. However, we'll also have student time in small groups, and so your parents and families won't necessarily be part of that, but they'll have programming that's happening at the same time. And so yes and no.
All right, thank you, Amber. Next question is from Travis. Travis is having some foresight here. He wants to know, if I injure myself on campus, what services are available for me? So I believe this will go to Andrea.
Hi, Hi, Travis. That's a great question. So you would come to the Hartshorn Medical Building on campus. So it's at this point for this next year, it's going to be really centrally located still. We will be moving to a new building in another year or so, but it's a full-service medical clinic. So if it's something that's immediate and on campus, you can walk in and see one of our providers right away. If it's something that's not really urgent, then you can definitely call or go online and make an appointment to see someone.
All right, follow-up question to that, Andrea. Is it something if you break your arm or if you are bleeding profusely, is that something you can still go to the health network for?
If it's an emergency situation where you're bleeding profusely, we would definitely want you to call 911. Anything that's really an emergency, we definitely want you to get that immediate attention. So I don't want you limping or bleeding across the parking lot trying to get to the health network. So definitely call 911 for anything that's a big emergency.
Thank you. Okay, I have a question for John. This is from Ellie. She looks like she's a transfer student and she wants to know, is there a transfer specific floor on campus?
We actually have a handful of transfer designated communities. There is one in Allison Hall, one in Braden Hall, and one in Summit Hall. I believe that covers each of them. That acknowledges, yes, we have a number of transfer students who choose to live on campus as they're making the transition to CSU. We have a partnership with Orientation and Transition Programs to help provide resources to that community that acknowledges that while you are, as a transfer student, experienced at college, you've taken college classes, you've potentially been on a college campus as a regular student, full-time, part-time, who knows. But you're new to CSU. And getting to know this campus and getting to know some of the processes and ins and outs here puts you in a unique position. And so the transfer community has proven to be really popular, that it grew from 1 floor 2 years ago to 2 floors this year, and now will be 3 floors next year, as students have really found a lot of kindred spirits to be together as transfer students, to be able to share that experience, share their own personal stories and experiences, help and support one another, and then be connected to resources that are there to help acknowledge the unique needs and circumstances of what it is to be a transfer student.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, I have a question from Dominique. She's wondering, she says, I've done housing, financial aid, signed up for orientation, sent over my transfer credit. Is there anything else before orientation? Dominique, you are doing great. You've checked off pretty much everything on that admitted student checklist. So you're doing awesome. There really is nothing else that you have to do before orientation. Amber, I would love for your input on how to best prepare for orientation. What maybe our students be thinking about before they get here?
Yeah, so I will make one shameless plug. We do have a lot of extended orientation programs that are optional. And so, Dominique, if you're a transfer student, look up Transfer Mountain Experience. We also have First Year Mountain Experience and then Camp 1870. As far as preparing for orientation, I think that if you're a transfer student, come prepared knowing the classes that you've taken, and maybe bring your transcripts with you just in case. And then if you're a first year student, regardless if you're coming, we're just excited to have you. And so, yeah, dress pretty. You're going to have your picture taken for your RAM card at orientation.
Good advice. Get that haircut ahead of time. Mary has asked us, when do we have to accept student loans? So Cindy, this one's for you.
Okay, we actually will not start taking in student loan applications for parents or linking your requirements with your student loans until sometime in June. So June is a great time to start making that decision. You can even wait till the beginning of or I'd say closer to the end of July, to make that that final choice as to what kind of loans that you need. The first time that you accept loans, you will have a couple of requirements to complete. So having that done towards the end of July at the very latest is a good time to make sure that you understand what requirements are out there. They'll be shown on your RamWeb, and it gives us time to get those requirements shown as complete before it's time for your financial aid to pay before school starts.
All right, thanks, Cindy. This next question is from Courtney, and Courtney is asking, is there a list of recommended things to bring to our dorm? So John, take it away with some residence halls.
Yes, so as the assignment process goes on, one of the things that students will receive is a link to the Move On page. It's an active link now. Folks want to find their way to it through our website, but it includes a what to bring link. And it gives you a list of items that are recommended, items that are prohibited, so it's also what not to bring. But one, I guess, general piece of advice I would give to folks as they're looking ahead to what they're going to bring to campus with them is pack light. You don't need to recreate every single comfort of home. And we definitely see a lot of students really trying to cram a lot of stuff into that room and then realize pretty quickly that you just don't need all that stuff. That there's resources in the hall that are available to you. One indicator that students are potentially bringing a lot of stuff is at the end of the year in May. So for us, just coming up here in a little over a month, is when we close the halls. Our Leave It Behind program is where students can donate unwanted goods, from non-perishable food to clothing to furniture to office supplies, you name it. And last year, students donated over 20 tons to the Leave It Behind program. So if you can do your part as a green university, CSU, in trying to avoid a lot of unwanted or unneeded things, start ahead now in thinking about what do you really need to bring with you to campus. And perhaps think, if there's something that you're not sure about, there's always time to get it. One of the events during Ram Welcome, which is the event right before classes start, so between hall opening and the start of classes, Ram Welcome is there to provide students opportunities to continue the orientation experience, to continue the school spirit experience. But one of the events that they've traditionally held is Target Night. So you and a couple of hundred, several hundred of your fellow first-year students, fellow new transfer students, have the opportunity to go to a private Target shopping experience. And if you need to pick up that one last thing that's really going to make the room just right, why don't you go ahead and wait and do that then, so that you're not overloading the car and overloading your back as you're carrying things in and out of the halls on opening day.
Good advice. I definitely know that I way overpacked when I was a first-year student, and my first week in home, I brought home almost like a half carload of stuff. So that's good advice, John. Pack light. My next question is for Andrea. This is actually from a parent. So she's wanting to know, from Holly, she says, do we have to use CSU Health Insurance? My daughter is already under our families.
Hi, Holly. That's a great question. And the answer is no, you do not have to use CSU's health insurance. So that's actually great that your student is still covered under your plan. So what your student will need to tell us is that they are in fact covered. And so there's a waiver process that your student will go through online before classes start to let us know that they are already covered. If they don't complete that waiver process, then they can actually end up getting charged for the CSU health insurance plan, which would not be a good thing. So please make sure that your student knows that they need to be doing that. When you come to orientation, you're going to get all of that information in a nice packet, you and your student both. So hopefully that will take care of it. But anyone can access the CSU Health Network that's a student at CSU. And so even without our insurance, your student can still access all of the same services.
Okay, thanks, Andrea. Back to John for this one. Mitch says, if I am gluten-free, do all of the dining halls have a gluten-free option?
Yes, they do. Every one of the dining facilities will have a designated location that is where gluten-free options are available. We have a really strong food labeling program across all of our dining centers and across all of our menu items. If you go to menus.colostate.edu, you can see what's on deck for that day, for the next couple of days. You'll see the labeling program there next to each menu item to indicate whether it's gluten-free, maybe it contains nuts, is it whole grain, vegan, vegetarian, locally sourced. So for students that have particular dietary needs, such as needing to eat gluten-free, or those that are just interested in dining because of their own personal preferences, the menus program really helps students be able to plan ahead. It's also nice that you can see what's available at all of the dining facilities. So if you live in one part of campus and tend to eat at one particular dining center more often than others, you can look ahead and see, hey, there's something really exciting available on the other side of campus or in another place, and encourage you and your friends to go try that out. I will also share that we have a dietitian on staff. Her name's Brittany. She's pretty fantastic. And she is happy to sit down and work with and meet with any student and family in some cases to talk through what your dietary needs are, to go through the menu, to identify items that are going to be good, then you're going to be able to eat safely and comfortably, where the different resources are in the different dining facilities, so that you can go in a little bit better informed and a little bit better prepared, and hopefully have a really smooth dining experience, whether it's gluten-free needs or other dietary needs.
Again, we could talk about food all day long, John. My next question is from Ray. This will be for Cindy. Ray is wondering, what if I haven't completed the FAFSA, and when is it due?
Ray, you're doing just fine. We would like to see you get that FASFA in just as quick as you can. It takes us 3 to 5 business days to get that. I would say, I always hate to talk about final deadlines, but we'd really, really, really like to have that by August 1st. Knowing that September 10th due date is just around the corner, we don't want it to be coming in later than that, but that's still not a deadline. That's just the best priority date to get your FAFSA into us if you're pushing it late. So have I said sooner is better than later? Get that to us as quick as you can. But August 1st is what I'd really target for my last minute time.
All right, thank you. Next question over to Amber. Aaron is asking us, I've heard CSU has a camping orientation. Can you tell me more about this?
Yeah, so we have programs called First Year Mountain Experience and Transfer Mountain Experience. It's hosted up at our CSU Mountain campus. It's about 2 hours away from the main campus. We have 4 first-year programs throughout the summer and then 2 transfer programs. And basically what we do is take you on an adventure-based orientation. So we build off of your RAM orientation experience. We take you to do a high ropes course. We do small groups. You meet a lot of other incoming students, whether they're first-year or transfer students. We take you on a hike and really take time to talk about what does it actually mean to be a RAM and how can we transition better and make sure that you're comfortable entering into CSU and exploring the Rocky Mountains, to be honest. So we have a lot of fun. We have, campfires at night. We stay in cabins. It's really nice experience. And then, you see wildlife and it's a lot of fun.
All right, thanks, Amber. This one is also for you. Coming up next, it's from Jewel. She's wondering, what does class registration look like during orientation? Am I one-on-one with my advisor?
So it's a great question. It depends on your college, to be completely honest with you. Some students will enter into group advising. If you're a first-year student, you'll be in a group advising setting. You will all get to talk with an advisor specific in your college and talk about specific courses. If you're a transfer student, it just depends on the numbers for your college. For that session. Some will have one-on-one appointments, some will be in group advising. Either way, we're gonna make sure that you have an opportunity to ask an advisor any questions that you have and that you walk away feeling confident and comfortable with your schedule for the fall.
All right, this one is gonna go all the way over to Andrea, so you can flip the computer around. A concerned parent is who wrote this question into us, and they said, I've heard there's an alcohol awareness program at orientation, and what is this?
Sure. So there is an alcohol education presentation during orientation. We feel like this is a really important topic to talk with our new incoming students about. We know that college can be a time when students are looking to experiment. Maybe they've heard things from older siblings or things on TV or movies, and so we really try to address a lot of those misperceptions during the orientation session and also help students build some skills. So we give them sort of a basic understanding of what they need to know moving forward as new incoming students. And then they also complete an online course called Alcohol EDU. And so this takes students roughly an hour and a half to complete, and we have them go through that course prior to starting classes at CSU. So we feel like everyone gets a pretty good baseline knowledge of what they need to know before they come to campus.
All right, thank you, Andrea. So we're about to wrap it up, but before we close out for the night, I would love if all of my panelists could take a quick moment and just give us, or give incoming students, admitted students, a piece of advice. If you could share anything with them, what would you share?
Great.
All right, I get to go first, I guess. Man, I would say, this is going to be really tough. Don't be a stranger. So we do a lot around not only medical services, but counseling services. So if there's anything you're wondering about or have questions about, don't hesitate to reach out to us at Hartshorn or in the counseling center area. We are always there and always willing to answer questions and help out.
We'll keep going around the horn here. I would go back to my advice earlier about roommates and keep an open mind. You're going to have such a great opportunity, particularly living on campus, to meet new people, people from incredibly diverse backgrounds and experiences. You're going to have the opportunity to participate in all kinds of new activities and events, new classroom experiences, learning to develop your own independence and autonomy, learning what it means to be a part of this campus community, and be willing to take it all on and take it all in, including the things that might be uncomfortable and new and different and challenging, because that's where a lot of really great growth and experiences happen, is by encountering those that have different ideas and different worldviews. And that person that's going to potentially challenge you might be living right there in that room as your roommate. They might be down the hall. It might be a professor in a class. It might be an advisor. It might be someone that is in the same club or organization that you're involved in. But really come in ready, willing, and able to take on that challenge and want to get whatever experience, whatever skills, and whatever development you can from those opportunities.
I'll be a lot more practical than that. My advice would be pay attention to RamWeb, pay attention to your RAM's email account. Please click on financial aid, select 1617. That will give you a summary page. If you see a red X, it means there's something that needs to be worked through. We want to get your financial aid awards to you. I know that's important for everybody to make your decisions. RamWeb is really going to lead you to getting those financial aid awards complete. It will show you when we've got your FASFA, when we have questions that need to be answered. Please don't hesitate to contact us. I know that the lines may have long waits right now. There's a lot of lengthy conversations that we have, but we want to answer your questions. We want to make sure that you are prepared in all ways to come here and be successful as a student. So please do reach out to us and use your tools. So thank you.
All right, and then my piece of advice is to ask questions, to be honest, and to be comfortable with asking questions. We have a lot of resources on campus that I think you would be completely surprised at the level of support that we can offer you. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to get involved. We want to make sure that you're comfortable and part of the community here, and you have a place as a RAM, and that you're feeling supported during your time here. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you this summer.
All right. Thank you so much to our panelists who joined us tonight from around campus. I also want to thank everybody for tuning in, and a special thank you to everyone who submitted questions. If you submitted a question and we didn't get it answered, we are going to do our best to get back to you. hopefully within this week, if it wasn't addressed during our broadcast. As always, contact your admissions counselor. Ask those questions, just like Amber said. We are happy to help be a connector for you in this process and navigating the rest of these steps. We hope to see you all on campus next fall. Have a great night, and go Rams!